while Harvey stood open-mouthed at the skill with which the plunging dory was saved from destruction. "One half was just punkins. Tom Platt wanted to haul her and had done with it, but I said, I'll back the doctor that has the second sight, and the other half come up saggin' full o' big uns. Hurry, Manny, and bring a tub o' bait. There's luck afloat to night." The fish bit at the newly baited hooks from which their brethren had just been taken, and Tom Platt and Long Jack moved methodically up and down the length of the trawl, the boat's nose surging under the wet line of hooks, stripping the sea cucumbers that they called pumpkins, slatting off the fresh-caught cod against the gunwale, rebaiting, and loading Manuel's dory till dusk. "I'll take no risks," said Disko, then. "Not with him floatin' around so near. Abishai won't sink for a week. Heave in the dories, and we'll dress down after supper." That was a mighty dressing down, attended by 3 or 4 blowing grampuses. It lasted until 9 o'clock, and Disko was thrice heard to chuckle as Harvey pitched the split fish into the hold. "Say, you're haulin' ahead dreadful fast," said Dan, when they ground the knives after the men had turned in. "There's somethin' of a sea to night, and I hain't heard you made no remarks on it." "Too busy," Harvey replied, testing a blade's edge. "Come to think of it, she is a high kicker." The little schooner was gambolling all around her anchor among the silver-tipped waves. Backing with a start of affected surprise at the sight of the strained cable, she pounced on it like a kitten, while the spray of her descent burst through the hawse-holes with the report of a gun. Shaking her head, she would say, "Well, I'm sorry I can't stay any longer with you. I'm going north," and would sidle off, halting suddenly with a dramatic rattle of her rigging. "And I was just going to observe," she would begin, as gravely as a drunken man addressing a lamp-post. The rest of the sentence she acted her words in dumb show, of course was lost in a fit of fidgets, when she behaved like a puppy chewing a string, a clumsy woman in a side saddle, a hen with her head cut off, or a cow stung by a hornet, exactly as the whims of the sea took her. "See her sayin' her piece. She's Patrick Henry now," said Dan. She swung sideways on a roller, and gesticulated with her jib boom from port to starboard. "But ez fer me, give me liberty, or give me death." Whop! She sat down in the moon path on the water, curtsying with a flourish of pride impressive enough, had not the wheel gear sniggered mockingly in its box. Harvey laughed aloud. "Why, it's just as if she was alive," he said. "She's as stiddy as a house and dry as a herrin'," said Dan, enthusiastically, as he was stung across the deck in a batter of spray. "Fends 'em off and fends 'em off, and 'Don't you come nigh me,' she says. Look at her. Just look at her. Sakes, you should see one o' them toothpicks h'isting up her anchor on her spike over 15 fathom water." "What's a toothpick, Dan?" "Them new haddockers and herrin' boats. Fine as a yacht forward, with yacht sterns to 'em, and spike bowsprits, and a house that'd take our hold. I've heard that Burgess himself he made the models for 3 or 4 of 'em. Dad's sot against 'em on account o' their pitchin' and joltin', but there's heaps o' money in 'em. Dad can find fish, but he ain't no ways progressive. He don't go with the march o' the times. They're chock full o' labor-savin' jigs and sech all. Ever seed the Elector o' Gloucester? She's a daisy, if she is a toothpick." "What do they cost, Dan?" "Hills of dollars. 15,000, p'raps. More, maybe. There's gold leaf in everything you can think of." Then, to himself, half under his breath, "Guess I'd call her Hattie S., too." End of chapter.